and welcome to Let There Be Light. Happy October! Crazy to say. I'm having so much fun this October. October is one of my favorite months for many reasons, many of which we will get into in this vlog. But this month, for the obvious reasons, we have new Taylor Swift music. And I'm still not over it, okay? Next time you see me in the next video, I hope to be wearing my official orange Taylor Swift cardigan. It's en route, okay? Did I turn my blanket onto it's reversible. I made it on the orange-ish side to look like the life of a showgirl. It's becoming my entire personality. And no, I'm not about to pull over my water bottle. That's what color? Orange. It's never been my color until it is right now. Anyways. What were we talking about? October. That's right. October is such a beautiful month. I have so much love for the month of October, and it is love for October this month, even if there's not a new Taylor Swift album, because October is the month of the Rosary. So a little bit of a story time before we get into just the excitement about what this means and how you can really play a role in it. But it was over a year ago now, actually, because it was around the time that I had started this podcast, I really had a moment where I was doing an interview with Sister Margaret Michael. It was only the second episode. And she was talking about when her father passed away and she had gotten sick that day and she felt so sad because they were late to get to the hospital. And she just was crying and saying, I'm so mad, I should have been there. And she just felt like she heard the words of Mary say, you know, and this is just paraphrasing, but, you know, do not worry, I was here the whole time. And it was when she said I was here the whole time that I really started to think about Mary more, and this idea that she's here the whole time. Especially, I grew up Catholic. I've talked about my mom before. She prays the Rosary every day. My mom has for many decades. For most of my life, really, she's been praying the Rosary daily. And I realized, like, wow, I mean, Mary really has been here the whole time in my life. And so I wanted to explore that and dive a little bit deeper. So that summer, I really started to pray with Mary. At the time, I was going through a breakup. I was really making just a lot of shifts in my life. And I was wanting to be more devout in my faith and just dive deeper. And so I really did that through Mary, exploring this different side of my faith. And it was interesting. I remember getting to the month of October, and of course, I've mentioned on this channel before, I was raised Catholic, but it was like, oh wow, this is a month for the Rosary. Like, I've been trying to, you know, talk with Mary more and pray with Mary more. And at this time, as I mentioned, I was going through a breakup, and I was like, I'm really going to pray for both my future spouse, and I'm really going to pray for healing, just healing of my heart and what I was struggling with at that time from this past relationship. And so in October, I was like, it's the month of Mary. I took my own name. I was like, this is going to be a month just dedicated to just focusing on Mary, the Mother of God, and then also just like my own journey and not worrying about like the outside noise. You know, when you're going through a breakup, people are trying to set you up and do this. And it was just like, I needed to silence all that. And so I did that for a month, and I prayed the Rosary every day. And that was sort of just this little promise, that's this little challenge that I participated in. And it's interesting, it didn't happen right away. It was just kind of slowly over time. I really found myself in a beautiful position where I felt a lot of that healing of my heart. I felt ready to meet someone. I felt also ready to be alone, though. It was a lot of freedom that gave me, those graces. And that's really what I want to say has been from my relationship with Mary, is just tapping into more of the graces that Jesus has available for me and for all of us each and every day. And so it was November 1st, I actually got a call to go out on a date with who I'm with now. And it was beautiful. Nate, it was wonderful. But it always just makes me smile because it's like, I can't believe that happened on November 1st. What? That's crazy. And part of my prayer was, you know, someone that really just loves Jesus, and he does exactly that. And he's been on some of the earlier episodes of the podcast, but he is busy. So not everyone can, you know, sit here on a Monday night and talk to a camera. But no, he's really wonderful and is such a gift. And I really think that it was like Mary just kind of shaping my heart to be in a place to even meet someone and to be open to someone. So, okay, let's step back. Okay, so now I want to talk about why this is probably an even better time to start celebrating the month of the Rosary. Well, for one thing, Tuesday, October 7th is the Feast of Our Lady of the Rosary. So that was when there was a miraculous victory. I believe it was the Battle of Lepanto. Listen, I never said this was a theological podcast. But yes, it was a miraculous battle, a miraculous victory for Christians. Pope Pius was the one who created the feast day, and this was in, I believe, the 1500s. So he creates the feast day for Our Lady of the Rosary. Over time, it then becomes an entire month. Mary has had several apparitions, a handful actually of apparitions, and oftentimes in those moments when she has appeared to people, she has talked about the Rosary, she's talked about praying for the world, praying for peace, and praying for the souls of sinners. And so it's really an opportunity for us to come together and continue the message that we've received from our mother, which is, if we're looking for unity, if we're looking for world peace, like, pray the Rosary. And I think that's really coming at a fitting time, and it's such a fitting reminder of this month in particular to pray that Rosary and to celebrate Mary. And also, who knows what can happen, which leads me to point number 2. It is the year of the Jubilee. It is a Jubilee year, okay? If you haven't heard, you simply must look into this. The Jubilee year only happens, I think the next time it's gonna be like in 50 years. It's just crazy. It does not happen very often. It's a big deal. It is something that dates back centuries ago when debts were forgiven, people returned home, and work was put away, and there was just play. It was basically the idea of Sabbathing for like an entire year. And it's a gift from God. It's also this idea of like trust in God, like, hey, we actually can step away from this because we have God, like we have our provider. And so I really encourage you, if you look up Poco a Poco and you type in Jubilee, because I did this to double check, all of their episodes on the Jubilee pops up. And I personally have not done a podcast episode about it yet. I simply want to very badly because I love it so much to talk about it, but it is out on their feeds, and their episodes are great. And like, I think that's why I get so jazzed about it, is because what I've learned from their show. So shout out to the CFRs. But the Jubilee year also means there's just an outpouring of graces. And it's like a little sliver, and they explain it in the podcast, like a little sliver of heaven is open. There's even more graces. And so I believe that the Rosary already comes with all of these graces, and they might be things that you might not see in the month of October, you might not see for another year, another 5 year of these prayers that you're going to pray with your Rosary and to Mary. But I really do believe that the prayers prayed in the month of the Rosary during the year of the Jubilee, wow, I mean, what's a beautiful time to just meditate on the life of Christ, through his mother and meditate on the mysteries. When I was on the Healing the Whole Person retreat, they always mentioned a few times, you can't run away from your sorrowful mysteries. Like, we pray the sorrowful mystery. We pray the glorious mystery. We pray the joyful mystery. Like, they're just it's a really cool meditation into just the life of Mary. And if you're curious about the life of Mary, I encourage you to go and listen to my episode with Father Mark Mary, another CFR shout out. And we talk a lot about his Rosary in a Year podcast that he did with Ascension Press. And it's just really beautiful to hear him talk about his own relationship with Mary. So I just wanted to make this little backstory of October, the month of the Rosary, the Feast of Our Lady of the Rosary, just to maybe encourage someone who's out there who's kind of like me and never really thought about praying to Mary all that much, and then sort of had this nudge, and then felt a little bit more of a nudge, and then a little bit more, and then before you knew it, you were like, holy moly. I mean, there's a lot, just a beauty that we can receive from Our Lady. And when we think about it, and this was something that Father Mark Mary had said, if you're at a party with Jesus and a whole bunch of people and you ignore his mother, like, I don't think he'd like that. He'd want you to be like talking to his mother at the party. Like, this is his mother. This is who he said some of his final words were saying. This is your mother, like, it's just sit with that, just explore that, what we can learn from Mary. I love the Visitation. It's my favorite part of the Rosary to meditate on. The idea when Mary left with haste to go visit her cousin Elizabeth, and the idea that she was carrying Jesus with her. So she was actually quite literally taking Jesus to her cousin. And in that same way, I really do believe that when it was the month of October and I was trying to dive deeper, and Mary last year, I really feel she took my hand and she placed it into her son's. She moves with haste toward us. But as I mentioned in previous videos, it's a matter of us being open to it, and if you're not open to it, praying to have your eyes open, ask, like, hey, I'm trying to be more open here, but like there's a wall, and just keep praying and keep showing up. That's the motto, isn't it? Okay, I really hope that made sense. But yes, that's all for today. Happy Feast of Our Lady of the Rosary. I really hope this just inspires you to pick up your rosary, try it out. It's not too late to join in. Try to do it every day this month, once a week, every other day, whatever it might be. Mary will meet you where you are, because she's a mom, and that's what moms do. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments if there's something in particular you'd like to hear me chit chat about next. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm probably going to go listen to Taylor Swift now. Bye.